So this is where we're at on Bitcoin. It's pretty simple. I mean, if you want to throw some VWAPs on there just to see where we're at. Look at this. So clearly we're trading around this VWAP 30-day, clearly. So, you know, we came up, we nuked down onto it, we used it to support, we lost, it came back up, chewed back through it, came back down. Look at this. Who could have foreseen? A perfect tag, perfect retest of the VWAP. In my opinion, that means we're pretty much good to go. I don't see any reason for us to keep messing about in this area. We should start sending here very soon because we retested it, turned it back into support. We should be launching off of this like a fucking launch pad. Okay, so that's where we're at with Bitcoin. There's another thing interesting to look at with Bitcoin, just to tell when cycles are done or not. Let's go on a weekly, get a little bit more data. So here's how you can see when a bull market is, you know, getting cooked. Let's see if we do it on the daily. Does that help? No, not really. All right, let's do it on the weekly. Just want to show you something. Okay, so from last cycle, when did we know we were topped on the VWAPs? By looking at the VWAPs. So the blue is 30-day, and then you have, you know, 60, 90, 180, and 365. 365, the yearly VWAP is this gray VWAP right here, okay? So you can see the colors. Hold on. Okay, 365 is the gray one. 180 is purple. 90-day VWAP is the green. 60-day VWAP is the red. 30-day is the blue, okay? So let's pay attention to the gray one, the 365-day VWAP. Last cycle, when we got a double top, why was that significant, okay? So you get this one huge run up in April, May of 2021, right? Right as the DXY had nuked down to that level I showed you at the beginning. Come back down. Look where we found support at. So we come back down, we jeet hard, and we find support at the 365-day VWAP. Bounce up off of it, pump all the way up to all-time highs again, do a double top. This ended up being the top of the cycle. But how do we know? How do we know when to exit and when it's actually the top? You come all the way back down, and instead of using the 360-day VWAP as support, as we did over here, we actually lost it considerably for a while, for a couple of months, until we came back up into it, and we actually rejected and shot back down, okay? So ideally, this would have been your shoulder to get the fuck out if you hadn't gotten out up in here, okay? So this is where you get out. This is the shoulder. It's when you lose that 365-day VWAP. So let's take a look at where we're at right now. So we lost it. We go into a bear market. You're well below it. You know, you stayed well below it. Finally, you come back up into it again. You reject again one more time. And then as soon as you break through with conviction, you're back up above it. That's bull market conditions. So right now you're in from here. Boom, you break through. Now you're in a bull market. Okay? So we've stayed above it this entire bull run. Okay, you come into your 6-month range, 8-month range. We tagged it, pumped up off of it again. And then look what we did here. This was the first time this cycle that we came back down and used the 365-day VWAP as support on Bitcoin, but we didn't lose it. We pumped back up to here. So we turned it into support. So what's the difference between what we did over here? We came back down, we turned it into support, but then you had one more big run up, okay? Until you lost it. And that's when cycle's over. Here, this was the first major hit on it. We're due for another big run up before we come back down and tag it and lose it. And that's when we go into a bear market. So again, context being, we didn't lose this VWAP. We're not in a position to say, oh, okay, well, we're probably cooked on this cycle. No, it doesn't make sense. We're still way up here. Here's the 365, okay? We also have other indicators that I pay attention to, like the NVIDIA Bitcoin pair, right? Or the Bitcoin Nvidia pair, which we can take a look at right now. So yeah, BTC, I have no worries about this. If you guys want to see some targets, I'll show you some targets quickly. Okay. On BTC. So this is where I expect BTC to go. Okay. Okay. Here are the fibs on Bitcoin. Bigger picture, we're in a massive 4-year reaccumulation range. Okay. Top, bottom, grinded into the top of the range again. Finally, we got the breakout. When you get a breakout in a bull market, why do we use fibs? You typically hit the 1.618. What do? We come right up into the 1.618. We start distributing. This was our top. So it called the top on the first leg up. Well, if it called the top on the first leg up, and look how we turned this pullback. It's interesting how these always play. Because people are like, oh, why do we bounce where we bounced at? Well, it actually makes sense where we pump back up from. This is the 1.618. So what we did is we shot up and we actually created support out of the 1.618. We tried to break out, came back down. Look where we did. We turned it into support again, and then we bounced. So that's confirmation that we're going to go up higher, to me. Unless we lose this fib, then we lose the fib and you come back down. So what's the next target for Bitcoin? Well, why have I been saying 156,000? I'm not looking to be conservative here. Other people are giving super conservative targets like 130, 125. I don't see that, not personally. I see this. This is the next fib. If this fib played, I would expect this fib to play. So, in my opinion, the next leg up on Bitcoin should see us top out at 156,000. Okay? That's another 43%, 44% move. Massive move. Okay? So that's what I see on Bitcoin. I see us coming up to that 2.618, right? So with that in mind, I say, all right, cycle's not over. I believe Bitcoin goes higher.